So I think I'm gonna just start this off very simple. My channel is kind of odd, and it, I don't know. I don't know what to believe because I have a serious uh, history of substance abuse, whether it be alcohol, drugs, basically anything you can think of that is considered an intoxicant. I have abused at some point in my life. So when I make videos and stuff, it may not make sense to a person, or it may take a different kind of understanding, or maybe it makes perfect sense. But I'll tell you that a couple of things have happened since I've really got into it bad in the last year. I've gained an unbelievable ability to balance stuff. My whole life I've never been able to balance crap, man. I wasn't able to barely stand on one leg. Um, Another one is I got back like my childhood imagination, like a person's ability to just look at the sky and just make things out of the clouds and things like that. That all kind of came back to me in the last year, where for a long time, that's been lost. Another thing I gained is the story. It's kind of an interesting story. It's all sounds pretty fictitious, but for me, as the person experiencing it, it seemed real as it can be. Like I said on my other videos, it doesn't matter. Real is not defined by how many people believe it, because all that real is how many people believe it. Because nothing else is real. It's a person's perception, and what we judge nowadays as real is just the mass majority's perception. So, like, say you had like 50% of the world thought the world was flat, and then, or sorry, we guys change up the number. 60% thought it was flat, and 40% thought it was round. Well, technically, because 60 is the majority, it is the one that the majority thinks it is, just because majority tends to be the census. Now, you can prove it as many ways as you want that it's actually the minority that's right, but as long as the majority believes, then the majority is right. And the only way you can change that factor is you turn the minority into the majority. And usually people back it with facts and stuff like that, but that's not always how it happens. Sometimes you don't have to back it with facts, you just have to get people to believe it. So perception is a big thing. A person's perception of what's happening around them is as real as it gets. So every person has their own reality. Your reality, my reality, are very much different, because what I see and what I experienced is different from what you see and what you experience. That doesn't make my any less real than yours. It just means my point of reference is different. It's like saying the center of my galaxy is the sun, for instance, with Earth, where another galaxy, or not galaxy, but you know what I mean, another space of planets, where they would have maybe just a big mass that everything seems to center around. But see, that's also a misconception in its own, because technically me and you, since we have different realities, we also have different universes. Because technically, which way's up? Well, I point up. Which way's down? I point down, left, right. Well, the center of my galaxy is right here. The Earth doesn't revolve around anything. Everything revolves around me, because I am the point of reference. Doesn't matter how how many universes or how many planets you put in it. Because and if I ain't there, then it don't mean jack to me. So I'm the center of my universe. And I'm not trying to say that in a selfish way. Like, it's not meant to be selfish. It's very realistic. It's very if you have and see there you used the word real again, because majority of people, to be honest, has everything revolve around them. We may put your family ahead of some things, but the only reason they're important to you is because they're your family. The minority is the people that are selfish, but technically selflessness is selfish, because if you're doing something for other people, it's because it makes you feel good. Why would you do something to other people for other people that makes them feel good if it made you feel terrible? You wouldn't do it. So, anyways, I call this the inside out theory. I don't know if I mentioned that before, but I'll probably say it quite a few times, is because it just keeps seeming to come back to it, that it's the infinity loop, it's the circle, it's like life, the beginning, the end, the Big Bang, all that stuff, everything that you could possibly think of ties in. And the reason I say we all got different universes is they say we got 10 dimensions or whatever. It's not true. We have limitless dimensions. It doesn't end, because if I have my own universe and you have your own universe and I got 10 dimensions and you got 10 dimensions, your 10 dimensions aren't the same as mine because we're in different universes. So it's limitless, and the only way that you can have anything is because you have nothing at all. You can't have nothing without something. You can't have hot without cold. You can't have matter without antimatter. All is true and all is happening at the same time, or else nothing would be happening at all. But then also the opposite is that it's all different times, because if it was at the same time, it'd be happening right now. So it's a hard concept to grasp, but the only way everything can exist is that it doesn't exist. And one of the things that I've imagined, I can't prove basically anything. I've been trying to think of processes to prove. I've had people that I've been able to sway to my way of thinking, that I've been able to bring into my reality, but that's my reality. That's not the universe's or the world's reality. And I can influence people by a power of suggestion, or they, you know what? Actually, a lot of people experience very much the same thing, but they just don't talk about it, or it would be considered foolishness. Like, I don't know. Being creative is gonna be the thing that saves the universe, saves the world. And to be creative, you have to be like a child, because as we grow up and as adults, we lose that ability to do things the hard way, to try new things, because we get set on a path of what is the easiest. And doing things the easy way is actually cramping people's ability to learn, because they find something that they figure is easiest and they set their mind that that is the easiest way. Now, at first, it was easier to walk to school when I couldn't ride a bike. And then when I started learning to ride a bike, It's still easier to walk to school because, to be honest, I sucked at it. But once I learned to ride the bike, well, then riding the bike was the easiest. But I'll tell you, it took a lot of time, patience, and luckily I had people to influence me that said, you know what, this is the better way. This is quicker, this is faster, you'll like this. But we don't have that in everything in our lives. And so we tend to walk instead of riding a bike with most things. Anyways, yeah, sorry about that. It's just, I'll talk about it some more later. I gotta get comfortable with this stuff. Because, to be honest, my reality is a little bit out of orbit. Catch you later.